Yeah, you. Are you new to government contracting and you've been pursuing service-based contracts via Sam.gov, where you put in countless hours of assembling your team, putting together your responses to those RFPs, only to find out you didn't win, and you're feeling that the system may be slightly rigged against you, and you're just chasing your tail? Well, hey, don't give up. There is a better option, and it's called selling products to the Defense Logistics Agency, better known as the DLA. Hey, I'm the DLA Guru, and I've been in this space for the past 20 years, and I put together a fantastic YouTube channel that's packed with information and hacks to give you some insight on how to position yourself to sell to the DLA. Take a look at my channel and subscribe today. Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. The DLA Guru is back in the building. Back in the building, yes, indeed. Oh, man. Yes. I am back in the building, and I am really excited about being here today. I am hailing from St. Louis, Missouri, and if you guys have had your ear to the news and had heard about what happened here in St. Louis, we had a huge tornado that came through and swept through North St. Louis. And yes, the DLA Guru emerged unscathed. Yes, I am here in full effect. Luckily, my office and my operations and where I live here in St. Louis is in the south side of St. Louis. So believe it or not, no issues whatsoever. So thank God for that. And for all of those out there that may have been affected by the storm, my heart goes out to you, that, you guys, find out how to rebuild, and you can rebuild without much issue. Hopefully you're not getting issues with the insurance companies and all that good stuff. But yeah, man, St. Louis, it was something, a sight to see, I tell you, to see what happened yesterday. And the storm lasted for literally 5 minutes, and it just caused massive devastation. If you guys have heard anything about what happened in St. Louis, looks like we have 5 concurrent viewers and 2 likes. Thanks for the likes and views. Feel free to drop a comment in the chat if you heard a little bit about St. Louis, or if you're not even aware anything happened in St. Louis. Google it and figure out, see what happened here in St. Louis. It was pretty bad yesterday, but anyway, the DLA Guru is in full effect. So thank you for joining me today. Yes, and today is, it's for my coveted Brigadier Generals and Patreon member community. Today is your day. We're going to be going closed circuit, and we're going to be talking anything and everything related to the DLA. We're going to talk about DLA national stock numbers. We're going to talk about DLA solicitations. We're going to talk about vendor development, strategy, you name it. Today is your day to come up and mic up with yours truly, the DLA Guru. Yes, you have to be a member of the channel. You have to be a Brigadier General in order to meet me over here in StreamYard. So for those of you who are part of that community, you know where to find me. You can look in the community forum tab. There's a link that's just for your eyes and your mouse click, your fingers to click on that link to bring you over here in StreamYard in the waiting room. And once I get a quorum, maybe 3 or 4 Brigadier Generals in the waiting room, that'll be my key, my signal to go closed circuit just for you guys, so that we can come up and mic up over in StreamYard and talk anything and everything related to the DLA. And for those of you who may be new to my channel or are not familiar with it, pin to the comments in the comment section of this live stream here, you'll see a link that can bring you over. You just upgrade your channel, you support the channel, you support me, support the channel, and you can also meet us over here in StreamYard to talk anything that may be keeping you up at night as it relates to your contracting company with the Defense Logistics Agency. Today is your day to talk to yours truly. And we're going to be doing that closed circuit training to about maybe 1 o'clock, 1:30 today, depending on how long this particular open forum presentation is. Yes, I do have an open forum presentation for all of my subscribers out there. Today is your day. As you saw with the thumbnail and the title, we're going to be talking about first article testing. Yes, first the fact testing. That's a lot of questions that I get from my viewer base, and a lot of emails regarding first article testing and the ins and outs. And hopefully today's live stream is going to give you a little bit of guidance and how you might be able to attack or to tackle, I should say, first article testing as relates to your DLA contracting goals. And so I recommend that you sit in, you strap in, and relax with me to talk a little bit about that. And also, if you have any questions or comments related to first article testing, since that's the subject today, feel free to drop those questions in the comment section today, because as I'm going through my presentation, I'll be taking a look at some of those questions and things coming in, and I'll do my best to field any and all of those as it relates to what you are experiencing. But yes, today we're going to be talking about FAT testing, first article testing. Yes, that is today. And before even getting into all that for my public forum, again, this live stream is for my members only. And today we're going to be talking just for my members. We're going to talk to the public forum about just kind of the general theory around first article testing and how the ins and outs and what you need to know about FAT testing. But today, if you are one of my members as a Brigadier General or Patreon member, I'm literally going to go into one of our recent contracts that we bid on that required first article testing, and I'm going to give you the ins and outs real time of what we did within our organization to successfully bid on a first article test solicitation. And that'll be for you guys, and to camp and mic up with me over here in StreamYard. So looking forward to talking to my Brigadier Generals and my Patreon member community today about that. Now, for those of you who are new to me and new to my content, new to my channel, my name is Kiwi Hendricks. I am the U.S. government sales manager with the National Material Supply Company. Yes, we have been servicing the U.S. military through federal contracting by way of the Defense Logistics Agency for the past 20 plus years. And I have coined the name the DLA Guru for many, many reasons, because yes, I've bumped my head and skinned my knee, and I've had plenty of successes in order to coin the name the DLA Guru. And I believe right now is the perfect time in my DLA journey path, my federal contracting path, in order to shed a little light as to hey, how you guys can be successful and hopefully help you not make as many mistakes as I've made along the way. So I definitely welcome you to my YouTube channel. Welcome for those of you who are new to me. Looks like we have 6 concurrent viewers and 4 likes. Fantastic. Thank you. Hey, for those other viewers out there, if you hadn't hit the like button, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you'd like to drop me a comment, for those newcomers to my channel, you have to be a subscriber to the channel. You have to hit that old subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, and it gives you the ability to drop a comment in my comment section during this live stream. And again, feel free to share this video feed to friends, family, business colleagues, because, hey, I'm just trying to get the word out there. And by the way, I wanted to let you guys know 2 days ago, I achieved, with your help, 3,000 subscribers. Yes, we hit the 3,000 subscriber mark. I'm a month behind schedule, but hey, we were able to achieve it. And thank you for the support of my channel, because again, hey, the DLA Guru, hey, I'm in these YouTube streets. I'm cooking in the kitchen, and it's great that my message is getting out to a broader audience. And I want to just thank any and all of you who have contributed to the growth of my channel. Hey, the sky's the limit, so, but that was a goal that I had for this, for first quarter, but I made it in the second quarter of this year. So thank you again. Now, be sure to hit the notification bell too after you hit the subscribe button, because you don't want to be a day late or a dollar short as I drop relevant content designed to both empower and inspire you for success with the DLA. All right. So you guys are here to talk about first article testing, and we're getting there. But before I get into the meat and potatoes of today's content, I have to say a word about our live stream sponsor. Yes, our live stream sponsor is a fantastic company that I have been affiliated with for many, many moons, Prism Clothing. And they're our live stream sponsor today, and I highly recommend you take a look at what these guys are doing. So if you're into versatile, high quality clothing that works for any occasion, Prism has gotten you covered. Their pieces are designed for comfort without sacrificing style. So whether you're at the gym or on a night out or just relaxing at home, you'll feel and look amazing. Plus, everything is available at prismclothing.com. Check them out and find your new color, style, fashion accessories at PRASMclothing.com. Live life in full color. All right. So they are our sponsor for today. Go ahead and check them out. Let them know the DLA Guru sent you. And also, by the way, we recently launched a YouTube store. Yeah, that's connected to my channel. If you go to the homepage of my channel, you'll see a DLA Vendor Network promotional store in partnership with our friends over at HECdistribution.com. We launched the store, I think, last week. And if you just kind of take a look at the store and take a look at some of the items, we've loaded it full of Prism products in there so that you don't have to go off platform. You can literally and support the channel by supporting me right in our YouTube store. And I just dropped the link for those of you who may be interested and learn a little bit more about what we're doing over in the YouTube space. But there's a bunch of products there that if you if you add something to your shopping cart, you know, it will definitely support the channel, support me and my growth. And hey, by the way, you'll get some pretty cool Egyptian color or Egyptian cotton socks that, you know, they're fantastic. I actually got a pair of socks on right now, and they have some wristbands if you're into the gym and working out, some sports wristbands that are pretty cool, as well as D-ring belts. You know, it's a full gambit. I think it's like 13 different color, solid colors that you'll find that are just fantastic. Great gift ideas as well too. So, and then you'll be supporting yours truly, DLA Guru. All right, cool. So I wanted to just put that out there. I'm really excited about, you know, the growth of the channel and ways that I continue to add value to my DLA Vendor Network community here in these YouTube streets. All right, but you guys are here today to talk about first article testing. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of the first article testing. Doesn't look like I have any comments in the chat there. So we've got 6 concurrent viewers, 7 likes. So feel free to drop a, you know, hey, just where you're hailing from. Anybody from St. Louis, Missouri out there? Let me know if you guys are out there and what city and state you're hailing from. I always like to know who my audience is and what part of the world that you guys are in. It just means a ton to me, and it helps to get the algorithm cooking because there's that engagement. All right, cool. So the first thing, the number one thing that comes to mind about first article testing and why it's so important, the DLA uses first article testing, and I'll say FAT in first article testing, make it interchangeable, but it's because of the verification of manufacturing capability. First article testing ensures you can actually manufacture the part to government specs. The DLA wants proof that your process, materials, and workmanship all check out before you mass produce anything. So first article testing is fantastic for one, the DLA, and for you, because hey, you don't want to get a huge production run and then you have quality notifications out the wazoo. So it helps to verify all that. So it's actually a good thing. So, you know, a lot of folks, when they look at DLA solicitation, they see the first article test, or you talk to one of your manufacturing partners and they're like, yeah, I don't want to get into all that. That's a good sign. That means that, you know, you don't want to link up with the company that just cannot ensure the quality of their capability. All right. So that's a good thing for you as a DLA vendor. All right. One, it ensures the contractor can produce the items that meet the specifications and drawings. We want to make sure of that because we're talking about doing business with the U.S. military, you know, military grade. This is, you know, it's not a cakewalk. You got to make sure that you know what you're doing in order to support the warfighter, to keep them fighting strong. First article testing, or FAT, confirms production methods, materials, and processes are appropriate for full-scale manufacturing before full-scale manufacturing begins. So again, very, very important, the verification process. That's why FAT is in there. Number two, it mitigates the risk of critical or complex items failing. So if the national stock number is mission critical or safety sensitive, FAT helps prevent equipment failure or worse. That is, injuries from the equipment failing in the field. We do not want soldiers to be injured because products that we are selling or promote or distributing or shipping to the DLA are failing prematurely. You know, mil standard military grade is very, very important. There's zero room for errors when it comes to protecting our soldiers and their lives, right? We want to make sure that we're producing products that meet all the military specifications. In fact, first article testing helps to ensure that. When used, first article testing is used when items are mission critical, again, life supporting or safety related. So if you can kind of think about aircraft parts, fuel system components, you know, you got the pumps, you got the, you know, the hose assemblies, all those types of things, hydraulic, you know, gaskets and things of that nature. If these things fail, it could be mission critical. It can literally down the plane or down the tank or whatever military asset that the warfighter needs in order to do their job. So that's why first article testing is basically doing a judgmental sample of what you're going to produce, and you provide it to the DLA up front. They take a look at it, they do their testing and make sure everything checks out before they give you the green light to ship the balance of material. So that's the reason why first article testing is in place. It definitely reduces the risk of equipment failure or harm to personnel. So everything about FAT is about just the insurance, you know, to mitigate risk of things going wrong. So that's always a good sign for one, the military, and a good sign for you as a DLA vendor, because you want to make sure that you can have the DLA be a repeatable customer. And that's one way of making sure you can ensure that. Let's see, you want to have first article testings in place to lack of prior production history. So if there's a lack of that, that's where first article testing comes into play. If you ever build an item, or if you've never, I should say, built an item before, or if the DLA hasn't seen your company's actually work, or your teaming arrangement, they don't have a history of it, they are more likely to request first article testing. All right. And so if you ever seen some of those solicitations out there where it says you can waive first article testing, you can request to waive it. However, if you don't have any prior production history, the DLA may not allow you to waive first article testing. But if you do have it, you can request to waive it, and then they can say, okay, give me or send me the evidence that you have, that you qualify and that your manufacturer has been through the first article testing in the past. And so a lot of times you can do that in order to waive first article testing requirements, right? If you don't have prior production history directly, but your manufacturer that you're working with or your partner, your teaming relationship does have history. All right. This is, again, how they build trust with new vendors, first article testing. DLA uses FAT to validate that a new source can meet performance and quality expectations, because there are a lot of, you guys know, in my channel recently, my whole thing is pushing manufacturing. As you guys know, there are over 600,000 small business manufacturers registered here in the United States. Only 8,500 vendors that are registered to do business with the DLA. So there is just a lot of opportunity out there for you to knock on the door and meet and greet new manufacturers and establish teaming relationships. But you have to kind of understand the first article testing landscape and how to effectively navigate it in order to be successful in working with new vendor sources that can produce those military components. So first article testing kind of helps you help the DLA to make sure that you're mitigating the risk of equipment failures and things of that nature. Number four, prevention of non-conforming deliveries. All right, this is very, very paramount. As you guys know, the DLA is all about, with the traceability, and again, first article testing, all these different checks and balances are in place to make sure that we're not getting counterfeit parts into the military supply chain. And so delivering defective parts can wreck your reputation. The DLA, they will log that, you will get the quality notifications mean something. And so you don't want that to wreck your reputation with the DLA as it relates to the DLA being an evergreen customer. All right. So that affects your bottom line in the federal contracting arena. As you guys know, I say the DLA is one of many customers in the federal contracting arena, but good news travels, but bad news travels faster, right? So you just want to make sure that you always have a stellar reputation as it relates to delivering products to the warfighter. And first article testing is your chance to catch issues early before full-scale production. All right, so it's a good thing. So don't think the fat is bad. Fat is actually good as it relates to the DLA. All right, so think of that from that perspective. It helps you to avoid costly rework, because if the fat let's say isn't approved, then it gives you an opportunity to go back to the drawing board with your manufacturer to fix any deficiencies. All right, it helps you to remove or reduce delays or supply chain disruptions to the DLA due to non-conforming or substandard parts. All right, so that's why FAT is just an excellent mechanism in order to protect your company and the DLA. Hey, it looks like I don't have any comments in well, actually, I did have one comment that came in here. Let me go ahead and, I like to field some comments. I like to get a little bit of engagement, and looks like we got David. I can't see the last name because my eyes are kind of bad here, and the name is kind of small on my screen there. But brother David, I really appreciate it. I'm not exactly sure what those, it looks like maybe pineapples or something like that that you put as the emoji, but hey, I really appreciate that, and thank you. Hopefully that's just, dropping the fruits of knowledge for all of my DLA Vendor Network community that are out there. Looks like we have 8 concurrent viewers and 9 likes. Hey, thanks for the views. Let me know who you guys are out there. I see we got 8 viewers and no comments. Drop something, drop a little change, drop a little comment in the comment section there to let me know where you're hailing from, because I really love the engagement. So I'm not just talking to the camera. I want to make sure I'm connecting with you guys and giving you what you need as it relates to empowering you for success with the DLA. All right. So go ahead and give me a little engagement. That definitely helps me out along the way here, guys. All right, cool. So the next one, number five, changes in design specifications or source. Anytime there's a change in the drawing, change in the spec, in the mill spec, or the source of supply, like those approved sources. Let's say you have a new, you go through the SAR process, the source approval request program, and you're able to get a new manufacturer that the DLA is interested in allowing to produce those components. Well, hey, you're going to have a FAT requirement that's more than likely going to be attached to that opportunity. And, this is all, mandated if there are modifications in engineering drawings, again, materials or suppliers since the last production run. All right. So like if you're swapping out materials, like if you're building it with a different grade or a different type of polymer or something of that nature, and you always want to be transparent to the DLA. Never, ever try to get around being the transparency aspects of working with the contracting officer and the ESA, the engineering support activity, or the product specialist. Let them know what the manufacturer is telling you. You as the prime vendor are the mechanism between the manufacturer and the DLA to be the conduit of communication. All right. So once you do that, the contract officer then can take it upon, their duty, their responsibility to request FAT, and so keep in mind, FAT could be very expensive. A lot of those testing runs that are, and what's required in the first article test, it can be expensive, and it's okay. Let it, whatever it costs is what it is. And you just communicate that to the DLA, let them know, and let them make the decision if they want to procure that item or purchase the FAT. Because as you know, as you go through those solicitations, there is a price associated with first article testing. And that's the name of the game in doing contracting with the DLA. All right. FAT ensures that these changes don't affect the functionality or compatibility of the national stock number. All right. So that's a big reason why FAT's in place as well. They just want to make sure everything is form, fit, and function to that national stock number, or if the national stock number needs to be modified and approved by the end user, that is the U.S. military. All right. The Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, their engineers, their personnel, they will let you know if that flies, if that's something that they are interested in being done to get that national stock number modified to your benefit, hopefully, so keep that in mind too. The more that you can kind of own an NSN through first article testing, through being part of the source approval process, that's just further guaranteeing, because keep in mind, these national stock numbers are consumable items, meaning the DLA will buy them again and again and again as these products wear out, and the DLA, needs to come back to market and buy more of them. It's a great way to position yourself to kind of own a piece of the market. All right. So you do the hard work up front, and then you have the benefit into perpetuity on the back end. Well, as long as that item is in demand as it relates to the warfighter. All right, looks like we got some comments coming in. All right, we got our first actual comment coming in here. I like any engagement, but I love some comments coming in. Looks like I'll give you a round of applause. Carrington, thank you. It says, hey, Kiwi, just to confirm, if you are sourcing material from an approved source, first article requirements can be waived. Yes, it depends. Okay, well, I would say yes initially, because a lot of times if it's an improved source, they have gone through the FAT process at some point in time, right? I don't know exactly, if it changes per national stock number, but let's say if they produce the last production run was say 4 years ago, and they went through the FAT process 4 years ago, you can request to waive it. Chances are the DLA will then reach out and say, okay, can you show some proof that a first article test was done sometime in the past, and then you can provide them with that documentation that your approved source would have. And if there is an expiration date on it where the DLA says, yeah, 4 years is too long, we need to go ahead and go through another FAT process, then that's where you may have to go through that process again. But it's always great to go ahead and request it for it to be waived, because one, FAT, the process can be long. Let's say sometimes it could be 90, 180 days, maybe a year for the actual first article test to be completed. before you get all the feedback coming from the military before they allow you to continue the balance of that production run. So it's not always, the best the best types of solicitations as relates to, cash flow is everything with small businesses. So a lot of times when you get a contract, you're ready to get a ship, get paid, get a ship, get paid. And when you have those longer lead time items, it can kind of be like, oh man, I got to wait for 90 days before, we can start to make money or some revenue coming in on this particular contract. And so a lot of companies will kind of shy away from it. But I always look at it as a way to diversify the way that you're doing business with the DLA, because you want to have your commercial off the shelf items and then your manufactured goods, where you have just different types of diversification of revenue streams with working with the warfighter. Sometimes, hey, that it's coming. You bank a contract and you're going to get paid 60, 90, 180 days, 365 days down the line. And man, and when it comes right. It comes at the right time. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think is great about force article testing. And let's see, we got another comment that just came in here. We got Brother B we'll say Brother B, and he says definitely worth it. The government is the largest spender in the economy. Yes, definitely the largest spender in the economy for sure. And thank you for that comment, Brother B. Thank you. I've not seen your name before, so you might be a new subscriber to the channel. And thank you for your subscription today. I really appreciate it. I'm pretty cool on seeing the names when they pop up, because I always like to kind of know who I'm talking to, and maybe we'll meet on a distant moon somewhere, and I can say, man, you were there supporting the DLA Guru when I was putting in that work on the YouTube, in those YouTube streets. I really appreciate that. Let's see here. Number six. And I don't have any of my brigadier generals or Patreon members in StreamYard as of yet. So, hey, you know what? I got 9 topics that I'm going to be covering today. And then for those of you who may be chiming in a little late, I'll summarize all 9 at the very end of this presentation. And again, I'm just waiting on my brigadier generals and Patreon members. If you guys are just out there, just hanging out in the YouTube streets there, drop a comment in the chat there to let me know that you are definitely watching it from afar, and then click that link and meet me over here in StreamYard so we can talk anything and everything related to what's keeping you guys up at night. And if you're interested in joining us as a brigadier general, feel free to upgrade your subscription today. Pinned to the comment section, you'll see a link that will allow you to upgrade to the brigadier general level. Today, you will be able to meet me today over here in StreamYard, where we can talk anything and everything related to the DLA, get to know a little bit more about you. And there's a wealth of videos that are in there, my members-only content. I think we have about 24, roughly 2-hour-long videos where it's Q&A between myself and my brigadier generals and Patreon members, folks that are active vendors with the DLA, winning contracts. A lot of information that you'll gain on those conversations that we've had of talking about national stock numbers, bidding strategies, talking about solicitations, talking about vendor development. All that is in the members only content vault here on YouTube. So that's only for the eyes, ears, and mouse clicks for my brigadier general community. So feel free to upgrade your subscription today to take advantage of all that wealth of information. Now, back to first article testing. Yes, it assures of the assurance of interchangeability and fit. So especially for replacement parts, that makes sure your product fits and functions properly in the field. So there's no guesswork allowed. No guesswork allowed at all when it comes to the U.S. military. It verifies that the items fit, form, and function, that they fit, the fit, form, and function of that national stock number is properly, it connects the way it's supposed to connect. There are no tolerance issues or things misalign and things don't fit. When the warfighter needs it to fit, it fits the first time. That's what that is about, to help you make sure that you are in full compliance. And especially when you're using replacement parts in legacy systems. Legacy systems meaning systems that are still online, where let's say the original equipment manufacturers like the Boeings, the Lockheed, Northrop Grumman's of the world, or the Johnson Controls of the world, when those companies have made those programs obsolete, of course, you got your mom and pop manufacturers that can come in and still support the U.S. military when the big boys are no longer supporting them, because, hey, guess what? The contracts ran out, and the military still has those assets in they're online. The warfighters are still using those legacy systems. So this is great opportunities for us as small businesses to come in and to assist the warfighter in their efforts. All right. And it's essential for maintaining consistency across parts in logistics and maintenance operations. All right. So again, first article testing. This is why. This is the why. Because a lot of folks are like, why in the world do I have to go through this? The DLA doesn't do a good job teaching you the why. So hey, the DLA Guru, this is what I'm here for. Here to give you some value, to let you understand the ins and outs and the nuances of federal contracting with the Defense Logistics Agency. All right, number 7, and we're getting close to the end. I got some brigadier generals kind of rolling in. Yes, all right, good, cool. So I'll be with you guys shortly. Number 7, compliance with military standards and specifications. All right, so meeting the mil specs is not, and I repeat, is not optional. First article testing is a way to validate your item meets every requirement in the technical data package. That is the TDP, or those technical drawings that you guys download from DIBBS. And again, there are commercial off-the-shelf technical drawings where it's, you know, for the public view. And then there are the export controlled technical data packages. That means you'll have to be EJCP certified, or what they call DEV certified now, stands for the DLA Enhanced Validation System, which is the same thing as the EJCP. But again, these drawings are paramount to make sure that you are conforming to military standards and specifications. All right, so you want to make sure that you are adhering to the detailed mil spec requirements that are located in those drawing packages, mil standards and the mil detailed specifications, the MIL DTL. All right, that's all part of the first article testing, the checks and balances to make sure that you are in full compliance, so that you don't get caught with your pants down or your skirts up as it relates to shipping the wrong types of products to the DLA and just jeopardizing your opportunity to grow your company and to have it be the DLA be a sustainable customer. We have been supporting the DLA for the past 20 years for a reason. We have been here for 20 years, meaning, hey, you know what? I think I know what I'm talking about as relates to how you navigate this landscape in supporting the DLA. All right, cool. And number 8, quality control for high risk suppliers. Yes, a lot of times when you see those national stock numbers, and if there is a approved source that has had issues in the past and having things break prematurely, you're going to have a FAT requirement that's in that solicitation, especially if you're supporting that particular approved source. And so they're just, the DLA is saying, hey, we had egg on our face in the past. We're not going to have it in the future. And so that's when those first article test requirements are definitely in those solicitation opportunities there. And again, it's applied to suppliers who were flagged for past quality issues, poor performance, or lack of experience. You know, again, these are mission critical national stock numbers that you'll see a lot of the first article test requirements. And it helps to protect the supply chain from unreliable or non-compliant sources as well, because there are a lot of companies out there that will try to get in where they fit in and thinking that they can pull the wool over the contract or the product specialist's eyes. These guys are experts in their field. That's the reason why you see the warplanes hitting Mach 5 and all that good stuff. And it's the reason why they're doing it, because they have folks that know what the hell they're doing in order for the U.S. military to be as an effect that they are in the global, I guess, in the global arena of military strategy and success and lethality. It's because we got great people behind the scenes protecting the military assets and the warfighter to make sure that we are fighting strong. And we, as DLA vendors in the DLA Vendor Network, we have to be a part of that and have, you know, a myopic focus on quality and making sure that we're doing things by the book. So, you know, DLA has checks and balances to make sure that you are also doing things by the book, right? So number nine, the last point that I'll talk about, regulatory and contractual requirements. Sometimes FAT is non-negotiable. Even though you can waive, you can ask for a waive, sometimes it's non-negotiable because of just the critical nature of the item. You know, and this is baked into the Federal Acquisition Regulation or the solicitation itself. So you always want to read the solicitations very, very carefully before you're bidding on them, because a lot of times if you're not reading the first article, you know, you're just skimming over it and you don't tell your manufacturer about it. And when you potentially award the contract and then the FAT requirement takes an effect, your manufacturer says, hey, I didn't know about that. I didn't price that. Or you know, so don't, you know, make sure that you're communicating with your manufacturer and your vendor source so they are on the same page as you, as it relates to you going after these solicitations, right? Because you just don't want to get kind of caught up where the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing, because regulatory and contractual requirements are paramount in order to make sure you get paid timely. All right. So again, that's the repeatability aspects of it. Just making sure that you're doing things by the book, not trying to cheat, cut corners, do things by the book, and you'll be very successful. As you guys always know, I say, think not what the DLA can do for you. Think what you can do for the DLA in supporting the warfighter, and you will be just A-OK in the longevity of your business and successfully winning DLA contracts time and time again. All right, cool. And you just, there's a legal aspect of it. It ensures legal and procedural compliance for government acquisitions. So when we get into this federal contracting space, there's this legal requirements. You can't say what you didn't know when it's in black and white, right? So, if you need a little help navigating some of this stuff, guys, I recommend that you get out there, you seek coaching, you join networks, you join communities, so that you're not playing the guessing game. All right. And you're doing it in a community where everyone wants to shed a little light and give you some ins and outs for you to be successful in your DLA contracting journey. And not only with the DLA, I should say, with your federal contracting journey, because this applies even with your service-based contracts that you may be going after on Sam.gov, whether it's staffing or janitorial services or safety-related type of opportunities that you might be going after. You want to make sure that you are following procedural compliance for all government acquisitions. All right. So in summary, FAT is an opportunity. So this is how I answered my question. Is FAT contracts, are FAT DLA solicitations worth it? Yes, they are worth it, because it's an opportunity. Opportunities is what keeps us up. We're entrepreneurs. We're small business owners. We're always looking for an opportunity in order to give ourselves a competitive advantage in a fantastic market of government contracting. So don't shy away from it. In summary, number one, FAT, or first article testing, verifies manufacturing capability. 2, it reduces risk for critical items. 3, no proven history, FAT time, right? 4, prevents costly mistakes. And 5, changes, that is, changes to the drawings, triggers FAT. And that's okay, all right? So changes may be needed to be made, because the way things were produced back in the day, there may be better ways of producing it. We're getting into, the 3D printing, and those types of new ways of manufacturing components, even though the DLA isn't doing a lot with additive manufacturing at this time, but it's in the hopper. Trust me, the DOD is testing 3D printing organizations. I've been a part of some trade shows and seen some pretty cool things that the 3D printing companies are doing in support of some of those naval contracts, in particular with the U.S. Navy, and it will be mainstream. I would say probably in the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to start to see some 3D printing capabilities, or where the DLA will be buying national stock numbers that are produced by 3D printing companies. All right. But anyway, so think about FAT as it relates to that as well, because being able to provide samples to the DLA and having those guys test them and beat them up and make sure everything is good, then they give you the green light to ship the balance of the production run. Number 6, FAT ensures that you're conforming to the form, fit, and function of the national stock number, as is stated within the DLA's databases. All right. Number 7, military spec compliance. You always want to make sure you're in full compliance with all military specs. Number 8, high-risk vendors need oversight. So like if you've had any quality notifications, not you in particular, let's say your manufacturer has had it, or you've had quality notifications because of you bagging and tagging issues and things of that nature, FAT just makes sure that the DLA is helping you to get better. All right, so think of it like that. FAT is an opportunity. And number 9, contract or regulation requirements. That is, you can't get around the federal acquisition regulation, the big Bible. Even though I hear President Trump is trying to I guess, update the FAR to make federal acquisitions a lot easier, which is probably a good thing for us. But I doubt if they're going to be affecting the first article test requirements as it relates to the FAR, because This is for mission critical items. We want to make sure that everything is by the book as it relates to supporting the U.S. military and providing those components to the military that are highly, highly lucrative. If you're able to kind of get through these 9 steps and you're going after first article test solicitations and you got the right team behind you, the right coaching behind you, the right, ways that the insurance policies is what I like to say. A lot of content that I have out there is insurance policies, all that good stuff. I recommend that you guys tune in and tap in with me, and I can definitely help you to grow your business if this is something that's important to you. All right. That's what that's really all about, my friends. So in summary, the final points that I like to say, the next time you see first article testing as required in a solicitation, do not, I repeat, don't panic. Do not panic. See it as an opportunity to prove your capability and build long-term trust with the DLA. That is what I definitely would like to leave you guys with, and if you're interested in learning a little bit more about how I can potentially help you, and you just like, you're like, hey, DLA Guru, it's great to see you on YouTube, and I know the emails and all this good stuff, but I really like to talk to you. Guess what? I offer a 15-minute pre-screening phone call. I'll put the link in the chat below, and I'm going to drop it down there for you, for those of you who may be interested in connecting with yours truly. I offer a 15-minute pre-screening phone call where you can connect your schedule with mine. We can get on the phone and talk a little bit about your company. You can learn, you can ask me any questions that come to mind as well. And by the way, since I've achieved the 3,000 subscribers, and thank you for my YouTube community out there for helping me to achieve it. For the next 30 days, that is, as of yesterday, I think I sent out an email. I am offering a 30% off for 30 days exactly to commemorate my 3,000 subscribers, 30% off my 360-degree training program. So if you're interested in learning more about that, highly recommend that you connect with me in a 15-minute pre-screening phone call. We can talk a little bit about your business, find out if my 360-degree DLA contractor training program may prove valuable to you and your growth with your business, your small business as it relates to DLA contracting. Hey, the DLA Guru, I'm always giving value, and I want to, if the value comes into me, I try to give it back out to you guys so you can position yourself to hit the ground running, to be successful in doing business with the Defense Logistics Agency. And of course, I highly recommend that if you're on the fence, or you're in the bleachers and you want to get on the field, but you're not exactly sure how to get on the field, hey, join our membership community, because there's a lot of folks that are newcomers to the DLA that are part of my members only community that are getting all the nuggets and all the know-how in order to position themselves so that they don't find themselves in storage room B or having any kind of legal issues with doing business with the DLA because they were working with the vendor that kind of used them and kind of pimped them out a little bit, and got them in a jam. And all of a sudden you got the Attorney General's office reaching out to you because you made a mistake by not really knowing what the heck you were doing. I highly recommend that you reach out to our membership community. Join us, be part of the few and the proud DLA Vendor Network community. And you can do that by just upgrading your subscription to the Brigadier General, meeting us over here in StreamYard, and we take it from there. All right, looks like we got some Brigadier Generals and some Patreon members that are in the waiting room there. So I want to thank all of you. Thank you. Like we had 11 concurrent viewers, 13 likes today. Fantastic. Hey, don't forget to take a look at my DLA Vendor Network promotional product store. You can buy a pair of fantastic. The socks, I'm telling you, they're made of Egyptian cotton. I highly recommend you take a look at what the DLA Guru is cooking. I'm always adding value. If you think my YouTube channel is giving you value, imagine what we're doing, the members only and the products that I'm promoting. And you'll be supporting the channel as well. All right. So I'm always about, you help me, I'll definitely help you to be more successful in your navigating the illustrious streets of federal contracting. And if you're interested in just shoot me an email and joining my newsletter and all the good stuff, my email address is on screen there, fed.contracting@nmsupply.com. Shoot me an email just to even say, hey, DLA Guru, I love what you're doing. Keep it up, because any of that support coming in, any of that feedback comes in to me, guys. I read every single email that comes through on my fed.contracting@nmsupply. It seems generic, but it comes directly to me. All that helps to support me, to keep me in the trenches of continuously adding value here in these YouTube streets. It all means something to me, guys. I really, really appreciate that. But before I chime off, I want to field a couple of more A few more comments here. We got Brother Daniel. He says, you, sir, are an expert in your field. Hey, thank you. I really appreciate that. 20 years and counting. 20 years and counting. You know, don't let the gray hair fool you, man. But yeah, I've been in this game for a minute, and it looks like we got a new member in the channel. All right, thank you, brother. Yeah, I remember your name from a couple of other live streams, but I can't say the name there. But thank you for upgrading your subscription and becoming a member today. I really appreciate that. And then we see Brother Daniel says, I need this asset. And then he says, screenshot. Got it. Okay. All right. Well, fantastic. Guess, hey, screenshots last forever. All right. Fantastic. Well, thank you for all the engagement today. It looks like we got a quorum of folks that's ready to come and mic up. And keep in mind, guys, I will be in here in StreamYard with my Brigadier Generals and Patreon members till about maybe about 1:30 today, because I don't have anything going on today. So we'll probably be hanging out. So feel free, if you're catching this on the replay, click the link, meet us over here in StreamYard. You get to meet the community that we've been growing and just get some of this good value, all right, that's going to help to both empower and inspire you for success with the DLA. And until we meet again, my YouTube community, I'll see you guys at the top.